I would say I arrived on a very historical moment for the Catholic Church, and I'm very blessed.
This is Elvina Fernandez, who's just returned from Rome.
I was on an internship with Vatican Media for 2 weeks.
This was an opportunity of a lifetime for the former journalist who now writes for the Herald.
After seeing Pope Francis in Singapore and moving around with him for 3 days, I was hoping to see Pope Francis again.
Her internship began shortly after Pope Francis was laid to rest, but she was in time to witness the election of the new Pope.
I was able to be there and watch the black smoke, the white smoke. I saw the Pope Leo come out of the balcony.
What she saw on the ground moved her.
There was a time where I felt very moved to see so many Catholics, just running there, wanting to be there in the presence of the new Pope to get his blessing. So yeah, it was very meaningful to me.
This was an experience she'll never forget.
I followed the team on the ground to do some live reporting, interviewing people during the Conclave. Also managed to write articles, and I did the live for the Vatican Radio. So it's a very wholesome package where I got to do different things for them.
On Herald Voices today, Elvina Fernandez shares her experience of being a Vatican News intern, what she calls the high point in her life as a Catholic journalist.
All right, so Elvina, welcome to Herald Voices.
Thank you, Kevin.
How did you get this internship with Vatican News?
Yeah, so I guess I have never imagined or never had this. I didn't really wish for this for a very long time or nothing like that. Probably I've always done the work. Like I said in my previous interview with you, our chat. So, writing for the Herald, being a former journalist, covering the Synod, covering the papal visit last year. Somehow, someone just suggested that, hey, do you know there's a Vatican internship program, and would you want to write in and try and see if you get on it? So I wrote in, and I got it. Yeah, I got it, and the time just happened to be on during the conclave, which something I did not expect, because when I applied for it was sometime third quarter, I think last year, and yeah, it just so happened that everything fall in place. I guess God planned it that way. I think, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I mean, can you imagine the other internships that they have, like you said, would be a usual internship program, but this is at a time when they're going to need more reporters or journalists, and they're going to be very busy. I was wondering, since they were going to be very busy with all the conclave and the Pope's funeral and stuff like that, did they give you a lot of work to do, or did they have time to show you what they actually do?
Oh, they definitely did. So I obviously when I came, I got a good visit around the Vatican Media. I met different sections of the news. So I met the different languages, so the 56 or 58 languages now in Vatican that they cover, and I met, most importantly, they were very excited to see someone from Asia. I'm not sure, but I think they did not have many interns from Asia, so they were very. I think they were very curious to see that. Oh, I speak most of the Asian dialects, Cantonese, Tamil, Malayalam, and Hindi and whatnot. So they brought me around to all the different sections to see me speaking with the team there. So I met the Tamil and Malayalam section editors, and we had nice chats, and then I was showed how to use the system. So how they upload the news, how they upload the photos, how they write the articles, translation, and I did a little follow on the ground. I followed the team on the ground to do some live reporting, interviewing people during the conclave, to see what was the emotions like, what was the mood like. So there were thousands of people just waiting to see the smoke during the conclave, and those were the times that I got a chance to interview and see what was the mood. And I also managed to write articles for them. So besides that, record sound bites, and I did the live for the Vatican Radio. So it's a very wholesome package where I got to do different things for them.
Did you manage to talk to them about the Herald, how wonderful we are?
Of course I did. In fact, when they heard that was from Herald Malaysia, they said, "Oh, we've been seeing that you've been using our articles." So yes, we have been. Where else did we go for news? Because I think being in the Vatican and being a part of the team for that short 2 weeks is where, I mean, technically it's the heart of everything. So that's where you go, for news, for the recent updates, be it Synod or the Pope's passing, the Conclave, the new Pope, everything's coming from there. So I would say I mean, being a journalist in the mainstream media and then being part of the Catholic publications in Malaysia and then now being part of the internship program with Vatican News was very memorable and very meaningful to me. I think as a Catholic journalist, it was a very high point of my life. I was very humble. I still feel very blessed to be part of this whole program.
I think like as Catholics, right, and like when you're working for like a Catholic media, you have that freedom, right, to just talk about Jesus and stuff, as opposed
Yes,
to the
absolutely.
secular media, right? You feel a bit like, oh, if I say this, people might, be offended, blah blah blah, whatever, right? But I think it was great that I think you can have that freedom to just
Absolutely.
talk about the gospel and Jesus.
Yeah, we did have a lot of discussions on that. And what was very beautiful was, I think, the acceptance that we have, and what I also saw there, very accepting of people's views. So obviously we have different section, different people who come from different age groups. So we had a lot of discussions about Pope Francis, his direction, his teaching, and then who might it be? And then when Pope Leo was elected, how would he be? And a lot of thoughts, a lot of hopes. So I think everyone was very accepting towards different opinions, and that was very beautiful. So we could discuss, of course, like you said. So I was sharing with them my journey and how I felt that the Lord always goes after the lost sheep to bring them back. And even though you feel that a lot of people say, to be able to go to Vatican, you have to be this age and this old. You have to pray so much. You have to have so much of faith experience in your life to be able to go there. And at 30 plus years old, God chose this part for me. So I felt a heavy responsibility. How am I going to come back and become a better disciple of Christ? I think that was the heaviest weight that I felt in my heart, when leaving Rome.
You're a proper journalist, right? You work in the local media here in Malaysia, and of course, you wrote for the Herald, proper newspaper as well. So, what did you learn
Yes.
in the Vatican News that probably you didn't know or you didn't practice yet?
Also, it was the reporting. The way you report is, of course, the same. You always want to stick to the truth. So, but having been part of the heart of where it all happens in the Vatican was very meaningful because we always done, I have always done, being in the mainstream media news, that media agencies will have their agendas, particular agendas, but being able as a Catholic reporter to be there and to write for Vatican News was something very different. And also because I've never done radio, I've never recorded sound bites, so I've never done live radio. And seeing how it was done and being a part of the live radio broadcast, that was really nice. So something really new that I learned, and perhaps if we ever do it here now with Chaya Sora and all,
Yeah.
perhaps, who knows if I want to do it. So I think I have a little bit of insight. And I think for my family particularly, they were very excited to hear my name and hear me reading the news on Vatican Radio. So those were some exciting things. But I think most of all that I probably want to share is that how, despite, when like for instance, Cassie Gussie was the one who read the first reading during Pope Francis' funeral mass, right? So when I saw her and they said, "Oh, former intern of the particular media," right? So I was like, "Oh, wow, how lucky is she?" Because I personally had a connection with Pope Francis. Wow, how lucky is she? And the next thing I know, the first day I walk into the English section was her sitting there in front of the desk, and I was like, "Oh, Kelsey, hey, you're a global sensation." And we kicked off just like that. The humility that they have, despite being a part of the Vatican News. People think, oh, so grand and high up there. But all of them, Kelsey Gussie or Francesca or Joseph Tulak or Linda Bodoni, they were all so humble and so welcoming, and respected the human dignity of every person, which you might not get in a different organization that you work in Malaysia, or maybe elsewhere. So I think they reminded me of the love of Christ, to accept everyone as who they are, and despite me being who I am from Asia, the way I look or whatever, I was not seen differently. So I initially had a little bit of doubts about that. How are they going to treat me? I'm just coming from Malaysia or a small fry. But nobody saw me that way, and I felt home when I came back. I came obviously my last day, so such a heavy heart to leave. And they said come back. We were very happy, and I'm looking forward to go back actually. So yeah.
Oh, you've got a job there.
Well, food
So
was
where were
good.
you when the white smoke came out?
I was actually at Vatican Media. I was in the office, which is basically in front of St. Peter's Basilica. And when we heard people, so we could hear people screaming from St. Peter's Square. And I heard that, I was like, oh, okay. And I looked out of the window and, everyone was cheering and screaming. It was white smoke. So just quickly got down of the office
So
and
you could
stood
actually
inside.
see the white smoke?
Yeah. I actually saw the previous day. I saw the black smoke. Yeah, while interviewing people on the ground, and then the next day we got the white smoke. Yeah.
So the whole office just rushed down. Yeah, let's go down there, right?
Yeah, they did. Some we had families of the media who would actually. This is a very funny story though. Who were actually across the road at a cafe. So because they had the media members were working, so the wife and his daughter were actually at the cafe. And what happened when everybody heard that we had white smoke through the media, through the radio stations, and or maybe saw the white smoke from a distance, everybody just decided to run from wherever they were, from their homes, their offices, from the shops or the restaurants that they were at. And when they left the restaurants, I was hearing from her saying it that they left without paying. So they all just ran. They just ran towards St. Peter's Square, and they just left without paying. And I think the mom, and the little daughter got a bit terrified with everybody running around, and they actually came up to Vatican Media and sat in the newsroom.
Don't worry
So
about it. There's a lot
running
of priests there. You can go for confession later.
so they were running especially from train stations. I think like thousands and thousands of them then already gathered there to see Pope Leo. Some reciting the rosary and praying, but you could see the emotions in them. The hope for to have a new pope who lead them. So I think it was a time where I felt very moved to see so many Catholics, just running there, wanting to be there in the presence of the new pope to get his blessing. So yeah, it was very meaningful to me.
I'm just wondering because, as we know, from the time we had the white smoke and the announcement, the Habemus Papam, it took quite a long time for Pope Leo to come out. So, what were
Yeah.
you guys doing? Like, I think that was an hour or so. What were you guys doing? Was it like, get everything you know on Pope Leo, find out everything you know? Is it something like that happening?
Yeah.
You,
I mean,
Elvina, go find his hometown buddy.
no, it wasn't really like that. I think because the team would already have the profile of the
Right.
potential popes, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there's already discussion about who it may be. So let's prepare everything for it beforehand. So they've already had it already. So they've got the official profiles come in. So technically, Vatican News is like Bernama, right? The
Yeah.
official
Yeah.
news. Yeah, so for Vatican, so they would already have the profiles ready, and they've already planned the news that goes out when they have the white smoke. So at that time, I remember, if I'm not mistaken, live was already going on, where they have live conversations with guests in the studio. So that's when the white smoke came. So when the white smoke, they saw the white smoke, and then I think they just have to read it out during the live that, oh, okay, it's Pope Leo, and this is the Bayadata, this is what we have. So it was technically already prepared. So it wasn't a mad rush. I think they're very professional, and they're very cool and calm, and it was very enjoyable working with them. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask you whether you got the first edition of a newspaper, an Italian
Yes, I did.
newspaper.
I did.
You
I can
did?
send you the picture. Yes, I can send you a picture. Just I'll send it to you. Yeah.
Oh man, you should have got
Yes,
one for
I
me. You should have got one for me. That would be like the perfect souvenir, man.
all of us were called on that day, and we were
Yeah.
told that we go down to the Vatican building on the first floor, and we all get a copy. So all of us just walked and went in line, stood in line, and got our
Wow.
copies.
Okay, so Elvina, thank you so much for sharing. Every time I talk to you on the Zoom chats, you've got some amazing experience. So I can't wait for the next one. Did you go to the Trevi Fountain and throw your coins so that you'll go back to Rome? Did you do that one?
I went there, but I did not do that.
Oh, anyway, I think I'm pretty confident that you'll go back there.
Oh, thank you. And I'll definitely chat with you again on that experience as well.
Yeah. Okay,
Thank you,
thanks so
Kevin.
much, Elvina. All right,
All
take
right.
care. Bye.
Bye.
Elvina also shares her experience at Vatican News and visiting the holy sites in Rome. Read all about it in the Herald, issue 8th June 2025. For more conversations like this, hit like, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next episode of Herald Voices.